Hi learners, it's glad to see you in Krishna's space. Today is the day 54 of our 300 days DSA journey. So it's time for our today's problem. Let's understand it. So today's problem is range some query immutable. Here we have given an integer array called nums and in which we are handling multiple queries of the following type. So first we have to calculate the sum of the elements of nums between indices left and right inclusive, where left can be less than or equal to right. So it is saying that we have to implement the numArray class in which the numArray function will going to initialize the object with the integer array called nums, and in SumRange function we are going to return the sum of the elements of nums. So basically we need to find the sum from left to right and we have to include both the index left and right. So now let's get into the example to understand it more clearly. And as we can see in the example 1, we have given an array here and some ranges as well. So let's take the first range and get the sum of it. So my left index is 0 and my right index will be 2. So from 0 to 2, I am going to have the elements as -2, 0 and 3, and when we are going to sum them, then we are getting 1. From 2 to 5, it means from 3 to -1, we are getting the sum as -1. And from 0 to 5, that means the whole array, and the sum of the whole array is -3. So now let's understand how I actually approach this problem. So we are not going to jump into this code because it is a little bit optimized. First we are going to understand the brute force code. So in that, first we are going to initialize our nums array in the first function as they have given that in the problem. And thereafter in the second function we are going to create a variable called result, and after that we are going to run a loop from left to right plus 1. Why we are including right plus 1? Because they have said that we need to include left and right both. So that's why we are going from left to right plus 1. And thereafter we are going to add each element present at current index into the result. And after getting the sum of all the elements from left to right plus 1, we are going to return that result. So that's how we can solve this problem with the help of brute force. But the only problem we are getting is that for each sum range we are getting order of n complexity, because for each sum range we are going to run the loop. So because of that I have run the optimized code, and now let's understand this optimized one. So in this, as you can see in my first function, I have created a prefix list, and in that list I am getting the sum from 0 to the current index. So basically if you are going to take this array, so the prefix list of this will be -2 and then -2. Why I said -2 at 0 and first index? Because in the 0th index the sum of all the elements is -2. And in the first index we are getting the sum from 0 to 1 as -2, because -2 plus 0 will going to be -2. So my first and second element from my prefix list will going to be -2 and -2. In the second index I am going to have the value 1, because from 0 to 2 after adding up I am getting 1. Thereafter I will get -4 and then -2, and in the fifth index I am going to have -3. So that's how will be my prefix list. So now let's get into the second function, in which I have created two variables, right sum and left sum. So in my right sum I am going to put the value which is present at right index at my prefix. So if my right index will be 5, then my prefix I will have the value -3. That means in my right sum I will have the value -3. And thereafter I am finding out if my left index is greater than 0 or not. If it is greater than 0, then we are going to add the value which is present at left -1 index at my prefix list. So basically if you are going to take the range 2 to 5, so 5 will become my right and 2 will become my left. So in my right sum I will have the value -3, because at 5th index we have the value -3. And my left is greater than 0. So in my left sum I am going to put the value which is present at left -1, which is at first index, and we know at first index we have the value -2. So in the last we are going to return right sum minus left sum, which will going to be -3 minus -2 and going to get the value -1. But let's say my left index is 0, which we have given in this index. 0 to 5. So in my right sum, the value will be minus 3. But in my left sum, now the value will be 0. And after that, we are going to return right sum minus left sum, which will be minus 3 minus 0, and we are going to have minus 3. So that's how I have solved this problem. If you guys have any other solution of it, do write it on comment. And thank you so much for watching this video and staying with me.